Alright, here we are. We have a new Flutter project. Just to get everyone up to speed, this is just a new Flutter project that I created named as Flutter Splash Screen Plus. Okay, so I've run the application and then here it is. This is just the default Flutter application. So let's get started. So this one consists of two parts, this Splash Screen Plus. Okay, if we bring up our video, let's just bring it up. You can see that there is a first part here of this screen, and then there is this onboarding screen. Okay, if we go back here, so first, once we select, we have this splash screen, and then this onboarding screen comes. So first of all, before we come to this onboarding screen, we want to work on this splash screen. Okay, so this one is going to be quick. This is going to be the quickest part and easiest. So what we're going to do is let's get the packages that we need to run that. For that one, you know that we only need one package. So let's open up our favorite browser, and then here head over to pub.dev and then come to this package, Flutter native splash screen. Okay, so once we are here on this package, we just need to come down and then check the readme here. So there is number one, setting up the splash screen. So to do this easily, I'm just gonna copy these methods which are here. Okay, I'm just gonna copy this to clipboard just to get all of this code. All right, and then go back to the application and then go in the pubs.yaml file. Now after this Flutter links, after this one, I'm just gonna put it down here and then paste it. Okay, great. So now you can see that we have imported this Flutter native splash like this, and then after this one, we first also need to import that Flutter native splash screen. Okay, so let's go back here, and then we have to go here and then go to installation and then copy this. Let's copy that, go back to the application, right below this, let's paste this. Now here we need to align this properly. So this is aligned to this Flutter links, but this native splash screen, we need to move it to align it to these dev dependencies. Okay, now that we have this here, we need to start implementing this. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do here is we need to configure it for Android and iOS. So we can read through these comments what is required. Okay, so this is just for anything for Android below Android 12. You can see that it's got a separate method for Android 12 here. Okay, so what we want to put here is to put the support for Android, iOS, and web, if you want to do that. Okay, so here there is this color, and then after this color, before this color, we can also say Android to true, and then also iOS to true, and then also web to true, like that. And then the next thing that I want to do is let's bring this. I want to get this background color. Okay, so to get this color, I just know the color code for this color. I'm just gonna write it instead of this one which is here. I'm going to specify that deep purple color, which is 673AB7. So this is the code for that deep purple color. And then once we have the color, I also want to put an image. Okay, the image for this image right here. Okay, so for that, again, I'm going to minimize that and then also minimize that, and then here is my image. I'm just gonna copy it from here, bring back my code, and then here on the root, I'm going to right click here and then new folder. This one is going to be called assets. So inside these assets, I'm going to right click again, new folder, and then I'm going to call this logos. Okay, like that. So now inside these logos, I'm going to open and then review in Explorer. Once I have this Explorer opened here, and then I'm going to open that and then paste that image there. Okay, now that I've got that image there, I'm going to close that. The next thing to do is to go all the way down here where there is assets here. And then I'm just going to uncomment these assets, remove that, and then move that side, and then reference that assets folder /logos like that, and then remove all of these. Okay, just like that, we have access to that assets there. Okay, now next thing to do here is also to get that image here, to put it as a logo, because we want to show it as a background. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we have the color, now we want to have the image. So for the image, instead of not, there is this background image. So this background image, you need to either choose if you want to show the color or the image. You can't choose both, okay, because this package will give you an error. You have to choose if you want to put the background color or the background image. If you want to comment this, you have to comment this out. Okay, they can't work both of them. So in our case, we're just gonna use the color. Now next, we want to put the icon. So you can see that it's already here, it's specified. What I'm going to do is I'm going to uncomment it here, and then for our images coming from assets /logos, okay, here is going to be logos, and then /show now. Okay, this image shouldn't be saved like this. Let's rename it. This should say let's just rename this. This should say shop now. Okay, I'm just gonna close that, and then here also let's correct it. So now that we have the image which is coming from here, that is done. The next thing to do is also to put this in dark mode. Okay, so this is for light mode. If we haven't specified for dark mode, either way, if the theme is dark or light, it's just going to use this. So if you want to specify for dark mode, you have to, there should be a method here for dark mode, which is here, the dark color. You can change this to, like, for example, if I uncomment this, and then I can put the color that I want for the dark theme, and then also for the background image, which is this image, I can also specify the dark image color by uncommenting this image dark. Okay, now we're not gonna do that, but you can do that in your application if you've got both white and dark theme. So for now, for white part, this is done. All we have to do is to test it. Now before we test it, because in our emulator we're using Android 12, which means we also need to configure for Android 12. Even if you are not using Android 12, it's best to configure it, because it's always a good practice to make your application future proof. So let's do that really quickly, which is also just the same on the color here. We're just going to uncomment it and then go up here and then get our color, copy that and then paste it here. And then for the background image, where is it? So there should also be an image here to uncomment, or we can just copy the image from above. If you can read all of these, there is more methods also in Android 12. There is an option for the branding. If you uncomment this, you can put your branding image here, and then once the splash screen is started, then your brand can be showing down here. Okay, great. So we're not going to put that. What we want is the image, which is the same image that we are going to use. So now let's get that and then paste it here. Okay, now that the configurations are done for both lower version and then Android 12 version, all you have to do is just to copy the command, which is also within these comments, which is this one, that run native splash screen dot create. Okay, so before we run this command, we need to save the app. Save this pub.yml file, which I've just done. You can see that it's saving. Now that it's saved, I can go here in the terminal and then just paste that command there. Okay, now we can go ahead and run the command. So you can see that it's saying image not found. Okay, so we have to check the path of our image. This is under assets and logos. Okay, now if we come to here, this image is under assets, logos, shopnow.png. You can see that our image is JPG, so let's change this to JPG, which means we also need to copy that and then also paste it here. So let's save again. Once that is saved, we can go ahead and run that command again. Great, you can see that the command has run. Now we can run the application. So we need to come out of this class and then let's run the application from main.dat. We open main.dat here and then let's just run the application. So now you can see already, just like that, splash screen is there, which is our background image, which is this one. Okay, now to see that splash screen, we have to close that and then go to the application, which is this one over here. Okay, so let's click it. You can see that we have that splash screen and then it's starting. So just like that, the first part is done, which is this part here. Okay, you press here and then that part is done. Now we need to work on this part. So first of all, let's go back and then we can look at more features here. Okay, so if you want, you can put the background image to your icon and all of these things you can read through. There's a lot of options you can change on this splash screen package. Okay, so like that, we are done with the splash screen package. Now you need to move on to the second part, which is the onboarding screen. So without wasting much time, let's move on. So the first thing that we're going to do is let's head back to the library here, lib, right click and then create a new folder. Let's name this as screens. Okay, now let's right click also here and then create a new .dat file. This one is going to be the home screen .dat. Once we create that home screen, it's going to be a stateful widget. This is going to be named as home screen. Okay, now we have a home screen. We can create a scaffold. We can return a scaffold with a body which says home screen. Okay, now that we have a home screen, let's quickly create other screens that we need here to quickly continue with this. Okay, so first one is going to be gallery.dat, which is going to be a stateless widget. Gallery screen. So this one we also going to return a scaffold, which says oh. And then let's quickly create the rest of the screen. So in short, we're just gonna copy, we're just gonna go up here. Right now we have all these galleries. We have all auctions, discounts, and men and women. So let's go back to the home screen. Now let's create this home screen. So first, instead of returning this scaffold, let's wrap this in the widget called default tab controller. Default tab controller. All right. Now this widget requires a length, which is, we are going to have five tabs here. And then now we can return that scaffold, and then that scaffold we can have an up bar. So in this scaffold, first of all, let's have an up bar. Okay, so this up bar, we're not going to have that. Let's see, go back. So this up bar, what we're gonna have here is first of all, let's have a title. So this title is going to be a text which is going to say our title of the app. So first, we're just gonna write e-commerce app like that, and then let's remove the elevation to 0. Let's also center the title. So this by default is true on iOS. And then now for the bottom of this app bar, we have to put our tabs. Okay, so after the elevation here, let's say bottom. Okay, now here we need to put our tabs. Okay, so what we're gonna do is let's create these tabs, which in the other class. So up here on the lib, let's create a new file. This one is going to be constants. Okay, constants dot. Right now in here, this is going to be a class called constants. This is where we're going to put our constants. Okay, so first let's create the navigation. Okay, navigation routes. Okay, navigation routes. So the first one is going to be a static const. This is going to be a home route. So here let's just name it as home, and then let's also have the onboarding. Okay, onboarding route. So this one is going to be onboarding route, which is just going to say onboarding. Now after the routes, let's have the tabs. Okay, so for the tabs, we're not going to have it like that. So this one is going to say static const, and then instead of a string, let's just call tabs. Okay, now these tabs, it's a list. All right, a list of tabs. So let's have a tab like that, and then let's create the list of these tabs. All right, so first of all, let's close it out here. The first one is going to be a tab text, and then here we have to give it a child. Okay, it's going to be a child of a text widget which says O. Okay, and then let's remove that. We need to have another tab, so we need to copy that, then paste it here, and then the second tab is going to be men. So let's copy that, paste it there like a few more times. Then here we're going to have women, and then here we're going to have auction. Then the last one we're going to have discount like that. So this is going to be our tabs, and then next after the tabs, let's create the tab view screen. Okay, so yeah, let's create the tab views. So this is going to be okay. So our assistant is not giving us the correct code. Let's just write it: static const and then tab views, and then looks like we need to complete this code. We don't know what is wrong with our assistant, so let's just close that like that. But and then also let's remove that. Now we need to correct this. Okay, so the first screen that we have, not the center widget, we can call our gallery screen. Okay, then we can call the main screen. So this should be a main gallery screen. Then we can get our women gallery screen. And after the woman, we can call our auction gallery screen. So let's close that properly. Assistant is gone crazy here. Let's import that. Then here we can call our discount gallery screen. Discount gallery screen. So now we have our 5 tabs, which are these ones. So now we have a tab views and the tab. Now next, outside of this class, this constant class, we need to create an enum to reference that this auction. You know that each time we start an application, we get a random like this one, a random promo, and then also like this one. Okay, so we need to create an enum to call each one of these. Okay, so let's do that outside this constant class. Okay, so here let's say enum offer. We're going to name it as offer. Okay, yeah. Now we're going to have auction and discount. And then also let's also add women like that. So we're going to have 3 offers as our example here. Okay, so great. Now that this class is done, we need to go back to the home screen. So now in our home screen here, we just need to call constants dot tab view, and then here on this tab, look, our assistant is going crazy. Let's go back. Constant dot tab bar. Okay, and then here on the tabs, we just need to call constants dot tabs like that. So we are calling our tabs from constants, which are these. All right, now again in the body here, we need to remove this. Instead of that, we just need to call constants const.tab view, and then we are going to call the tab inside this constants. Okay, so why are we getting an error here? Let's see. Let's go back in our constant. This is called tab views. Let's come back here and then let's paste it here. Now our home screen is done. All we have to do now is just to call this home screen. Okay, so to do that, we just need to go to main.dat, and then we can remove this pre-built home page. Let's delete that, and then instead of calling this, we can call home screen. Now also let's remove this banner. So to remove that, first of all, let's remove all of these comments. Let's delete, and then to remove this banner once again, we just need to call debugger mock banner to false. Now that we have that, we can run the application again. So let's wait for it. All right, we are running, and then we have these tabs. Okay, great. So now you can see that we have this awkward look of these. We need to fix that. To fix this, we just need to go back to constants, and then these words that we feel that they are longer, that they can go to the next page, we can wrap them in a fitted box, or if we want, we can make these tabs to be scrollable. Okay, but let's not do that. Let's just quickly just wrap these in a widget called fitted box, which is going to be the same with this one, fitted box, and then also this one, fitted box. Okay, great. Now that we have that, we can hot reload, and then we can have those like that. Now the next thing to do is, so we have created this. This is just to come here once we are coming from the onboarding screen. So the main thing now for this application is the onboarding screen, not this. So now let's create the onboarding screen so that we can get to this screen. Okay, so let's close all of these. We don't need these screens anymore. So now let's go back in the screen, right click here, and then new file. This is going to be our own onboarding screen .dat. So this one is going to be a stateful widget. Let's name it as our onboarding screen, and then here, first of all, let's return just a scaffold. Okay, now here let's just say welcome to e-commerce app. Okay, now let's start creating this screen. So up here, let's put what we need here. So first, we're going to need a timer. Okay, so let's say timer, which is going to be nullable. So this is going to be a countdown, and then let's import these. Let's import the dot sync. Okay, now also let's have seconds. So this is going to be the seconds that counts. So this is going to be these seconds. Okay, it's starting from 5. Okay, you can see that when the screen is starting, it's starting from 5. All right, so let's change this to 5, and then here let's also have the selected index. Okay, selected index. Let's name it the selected index. Okay, which is going to be initialize. This is going to be a late initialization. Okay, there's going to be nothing at the moment. Okay, now after this, let's also have the offer name. So offer, yeah, we can say offer type. So this is going to be a late initialization, but now let's name this as offer name. Okay, because it's going to be a string. Okay, so this, let's change it to name, and then let's get our offer, or first let's get it as a string. Okay, as a string, and then we're going to say offer name like that. All right, now after that, we also need to get the asset name. So this is also going to be a string, and then after that, now we will get the offer. Okay, we're going to get the offer type, which is going to be just the offer. Let's just get the offer like that, not type, not what, because it's going to be our enum, which is that offer that we created. So let me see, what did we name that enum? Let's go to, okay, we named it as offer type. That's why we keep having that offer type from Copilot. Okay, so that offer type is going to be there. Now you can see that here we have this button which is also animated. You can see that it's blinking like that. Okay, let's also have the animation for that. So to have that animation, first of all we need to come here and then extend this. Okay, so we're going to say with single ticker provider mixing like that. Okay, to be able to create those animations. Okay, so after that, now we are going to have another initialization for animation controller. Okay, animation controller, which is going to be also let animation controller, and then here let's also have the color twin for animation. Okay, so this is going to be not like that. We want to get it for the animation. Okay, so let's say animation like that, and then here we want to get the color to return colors. Okay, not colors, we just want to color like that, and then color twin animation. Let's just name this color twin animation like that. Okay, so now the next thing to do here, we need to create the init state. All right, so init state, we need to initialize things here. All right, so first of all, if we come to our application here, you can see that in this onboarding screen we don't have bezels here. We don't have this bottom screen and top screen for, you can see that once it starts you have all of these. Okay, this notification bar, and then this also bottom bar, and then if we get to that screen they disappear here. Okay, and then once you start they come back. So we need to do that. To do this, what happens is inside init state here, we need to, let's just put a comment, remove. So remove this, we're going to say top bar. So let's say top and bottom bars. Okay, like that. So let's see if, okay, yeah, that's exactly that we want to do. Okay, I can just say almost. Okay, so we want to run that. Let's import that. So system Chrome enabled system UI, and then system mode immensify sticky, but here I can just say immersive like that. Okay, and then the top bar and the bottom bar will go away. All right, now after that has happened, here I need to get I need now to select the random screen. Okay, here let's say, let's have a comment, select the random screen. Okay, after this has happened, I want to select the random screen just like here. All right, so after we have selected the random screen, we also want to stop the timer after that method. So here we will say stop timer. So after we have stopped the timer, we want to set the animation controller. Okay, after we have set this, here we have to start the timer. Okay, after we start the timer, here also we want to set the animation controller. Okay, so set the animation controller. Okay, so this is what we are going to do here. So this is going to be 1, 2 here, then 3 here. All right, and then after we do this init state, we also need to dispose. Okay, dispose. So So here on dispose also we need to do a few things. Okay, so first we want to put back the top bar and bottom bar. So let's let it do it. So here let's say system Chrome that's set enabled UI. So it's just going to be the same, but now instead of saying this dot edge to top, we can just say manual. Okay, and then here we'll put a comma, and then let's bring the overlays dot system UI dot values. So we just run that code, line of code, and then it comes back the same way it happens here. After that string is gone, and then they come back. Okay, great. So after this is done, what we want to do here is number 2, we want to cancel the timer. Okay, so here to cancel the timer, we can just say countdown timer dot cancel. The method is already there. And then also we want to dispose the animation controller like that. Okay, great. So this is going to be the dispose. Now let's create these methods in the init state. First, the start timer method. Before we create this start timer method, we need to do one missing thing that we need to do here. So you can see that here we have these animations here, this one, and the random screens which are coming. So this is the Lottie animations. Okay, so that is exactly what we are going to do right now. So for Lottie animations, we need to minimize and then go back to our browser. Now here we can minimize this. We just need to search for Lottie. Let's get this package, and then now here let's just go to installation and then get this Lottie package. Go back to our application, go in a pubs.yaml file, and then up in the dependencies here, right after the cappuccino icons, let's paste that. Now before we do anything, let's again go back to the browser. Then we head over to lottifiles.com. Okay, so here what you have to do is you can search animation here. For example, I want to search for, what can I say, buy. I can search anything like buy. And then also one other thing, you need to create an account which is free. Okay, once you create a free account, you can go ahead and download now any of these animations that you want. Okay, you can see that there's a whole list. You can just keep on going forward, and then or just search what you want to search here. Once you create a free account, you can search for an animation. For example, I want like this one, buy me a coffee. Okay, I'm gonna click on this one. Once it comes here, I can download it. Okay, now to download it is going to say save to your workspace. Okay, but I don't want to download this. I'm just showing you guys. I've already downloaded the animations that I will use. Okay, so once you click here, it's going to be saved, and then once it's saved, you just need to click on your go to dashboard. Okay, now I'm gonna click here. That dashboard takes you to the ones that you have downloaded. You can see that I've downloaded these. Now all you have to do is click on the animation that you want, like this one here, and then download as. Okay, now here just say download here. It's going to download the JSON file. For example, let me download this. You can see that it's downloaded, and then I'm just gonna say save as. It's going to save to my downloads here. Once I save this, I can go ahead and open the folder which is here. Now this is the animations that I've got. Okay, Now to save this, so what did I download first? Let me check. I've gotten, I don't know if it's this one or this one. Okay, I'm gonna open up my download folder back, and then so I can now get this. I can just copy it. Where is the I can just copy it like that, and then open back the application, and then I can now, here under assets, I'm going to right click again and then create a new folder which is going to be named as Lottie. Okay, now inside this Lottie, I'm going to right click and then review in Explorer, and then here I'm going to paste that animation that I've got. Okay, now for easy reference, like for example this one, I want to rename it. Okay, so if I have gotten this animation, for example for this woman, I want to rename it as woman so that I can get to it easily. Okay, so here I need to go back to my Lottie files here, and then I can just right click and then rename. So this one I'm going to call it woman. Okay, then just save it. You can see how it looks. It's strange, but don't mind this. This is how they look. Now I'm going to close that, and then inside Lottie here I've got woman. The other remaining thing to do is to come back here on the down here on the assets, and then also have access to that Lottie folder. Here I'm going to call again assets / Lottie. Okay, then I'm going to put a slash and then remove everything here. All right, now I'm going to do the same process of going here, and then like for example clicking here and then download as, download it here. Once I download it, I rename it. Then once I rename it, I put it back in this folder. Okay, so let me do that just quickly. All right, now I've gone ahead and just downloaded this one and then this one. So this one, this one, and this one, and then I've put them in this folder of Lottie. Okay, the other one is named auction, the other one is discount, the other one is a woman. Okay, now as you may have noticed that these names, auction, this is very important, auction, discount, and woman, these are the same names of the enums that I created. If I go to constants, you can see that I've got woman, auction, and discount. I have given these the same name so that I can easily just call any enum which will go straight to that. Okay, great. So I hope you have done the same. Now let's close that, and then here we have that, which is this Lottie, and then now all we have to do is to save here. Okay, so that we can get the dependencies for Lottie. All right, let's just wait for it. Okay, you can see that it's getting the dependencies. All right, now that that's done, we can close that and then also close that. All right, now first let's create the method to start the timer. Okay, so down here I'm going to create the method to start the timer. So let's say start timer. So this one is going to be a void method. Okay, let's click tab. Looks like our Copilot buddy has done it. So countdown timer is going to periodic dot that. Let's just go through this. It's always important to go through the code that gets generated. So once the second is equals to 0, we want to cancel the timer, and then at this point we want to navigate to the home screen. Okay, so let's put the navigation elsewhere. So here let's just say navigate. Okay, and then we are going to create the method to navigate. Okay, if it is not equals to 0, we just go ahead and increase the timer. Okay, so this is our method to start the timer. We can now put it there, start timer like that. The next is to create the method now to what is next, set animation controller. Okay, or we actually skip this method, select random screen. So here this should supposed to be 2, and then this is supposed to be 3, that's supposed to be 4. Now let's create this method to select the random screen. Just below this timer, let's create that method. Okay, so let's do select random screen. So let's see what Copilot to do. Okay, let's click tab. This is almost like what we want to do, but it's not like this. So let's remove all of this. What we want to do here is just to run a for loop. So okay, now it looks like it's starting to get us. So for each let's click tab and then just change everything that is wrong for each item in that. So here this is called, it's not in the constants, it's just directory offer type like that. And then here instead of that we need to say values dot length. Okay, now here we need to get a random value. Okay, so first this one is just going to be a random, so let's name this as just a random, which is going to come from a random class. Okay, which this is the that method. So let's just call random like that, and then let's import that. This is not going to be an int, let's just create a var like that. Then this is going to be random. Okay, now here we need to set state. Okay, we're going to get for each value inside that, we are going to set the state to the current index, to the offer name, and then offer asset. Okay, so instead of that we have to set state here. All right, now here, okay, now Copilot gets it. Let's click tab. Here what we need to say is selected index is equals to random dot next int after this offer value, offer dot value dot length. Now here on the offer type we have to say offer type dot value and then selected index, or up to that is correct. And then the offer name, now let's change this. So here we know that it's not coming from constants, it's coming from the offer type, which is this one. Okay, so let's copy that, and then here we just need to say offer type dot to string, and then what we want to do is to split. Okay, after the dot sign I want to say dot to string dot split at we want to split at the dot. Okay, and then after we split we just want to get the last index. Okay, dot last like that. Okay, because after the value we want to get the last name. Okay, because this offer type, it comes like that. It comes like for example it's going to say offer type dot offer type dot woman. Okay, now if it's a woman we want to get just this last part. Okay, after this dot. Okay, the other one is going to be offer type like, let me copy that, offer type dot auction, something like that. So we just want to be getting this last part. Okay, that's what we are doing here. Dot split, after that we are getting the last part. Okay, great. So now after we get this last part we need to set it to the offer name. Okay, so now the offer name is going to be Let's remove that, and then this is going to be the offer name. Did we create that? Okay, yeah, offer name dot to lowercase, and then that's it. This is just to solidify, okay? Otherwise it's not even necessary, but let's just call it, okay? So now we are setting the state like that. This is how we are getting the random screen. After we run this code, whatever screen we create, that's how we are setting that screen to be there. Now here, let's just go our method, select random screen, okay? Now after selecting random screen, let's do the animation here. So this one also is not gonna take long, so let's just create that method. So set animation controller and color, okay? Now here, let's just let our coding assistant quickly do it. Let's click tab and then go through it, okay? So here we have that animation controller. Look at this duration. We want to change that. Let's not change under 1 minute, 1 second. Let's change to milliseconds. Then let's change this to 600. And then the color twin, let's have some bright colors, like let's begin at colors dot orange, and then here let's have orange again dot shade 900, okay? Just want to create the same like our example, and then that's all. Now inside here, let's check if it's mounted. That's when we can call that, okay? Let's only do that if mounted, and then we can set the state, and then we set the animation to forward. But now let's change this to repeat, okay? Because we just want it to be animating, and then that's all we need to do. Now the next thing to do is to put that method here, okay? So set animation controller, okay? Now that these methods are done, next let's create the navigation. So for navigation, let's again come down here, and then let's create that navigate, okay? So here what we're gonna do is let's create a void method, which is going to be navigate. So this one is going to be navigating depending on the offer, okay? So this one we can have offer type, which can be nullable, okay? Now here we need to check the offer with the switch statement, okay? So first of all, let's check if offer is not now. If offer type is not now, we need to check where we are navigating to, because here we know that if there is this auction offer, once you click here, it's going to take you to the page of auction, okay? If there is this other offer like this one, once you click here or here, it's going to take you to the discount page. If there is this offer, it's going to take you to the women's shopping page, okay? We want to have that function, all right? Now here on if offer is not now, we need to have a switch statement, okay? Let's remove that, and then let's do switch. Now here we need to check which offer is there, okay? You can see that our assistant is assisting us. Let's click tab. Now here, if the offer type, because we know we only have 3 offers, okay? So if the offer type is woman, we want to navigate to the woman screen, but now we don't want to come back to this screen, okay? We want to push the replacement, okay? So since we did not create this route, let's just quickly do something like navigator dot of context, and then here we need to push push and remove until. So let's say push and remove until. So what is causing the problem here? Push and remove until. So let's put that bracket there, and then let's close it properly here. And then here we don't need to navigate to the home screen because this is woman. We want to navigate to woman's gallery, okay, like that. Then we can copy that. Then here, if offer is equals to auction, we want to navigate to auctions gallery. Let's paste that. So here it's going to be auctions, auctions gallery. And then the other one is what? The other one is a discount. All right, now you want to navigate to discount gallery. Discount, like that. And then we don't have these other ones, so let's remove this. Let's just have the default, which is going to be the home screen. Okay, let's paste that, and then let's put home screen. All right, so this is also going to be the case if we don't have the offer. Okay, let's paste that and then put the home screen. Now that navigate method is the error is gone. Okay, so now that we have created all these methods, it's time to create the screen itself, because right now if we have to stop it because we've put new files here. Okay, so now when we stop it and run it again, we won't have a difference because we have just done the backend code here. No UI will change. Now the next thing is to let our magic happen here. Okay, so you can see that we don't have any changes here. All right, so now we just need to create a widget here. So in this scaffold, first of all, before we do anything, let's go back to the main.dat and then show our screen here. Okay, so here in the home, let's remove that. Let's call our initial route, which is going to be constants dot this is onboarding screen. Okay, so let's import these constants. Let's just import it from here, and then we have onboarding screen. Okay, and then now down here, let's just create the routes. So now here on these routes, we're just going to have that same the first one is going to be the onboarding screen. This is going to be on onboarding screen, which is that onboarding screen, and then we just simply going to copy that, then paste it there. Here we're going to have a home route, which is the home screen, and then that's it. Now that we have that, let's run the application again. So now you can see that we are starting from the home screen. Okay, and then it's after that onboarding screen, it's moving to this home screen. Okay, so now what we need to do here is to go back in the onboarding screen here, because we want to work in this one. Okay, So what did we do here? So after the 5 seconds it navigated, that's why the screen changed. Okay, so what happened was this start timer started running, and then after 5 seconds that this navigation happened. Okay, so if you want to stay in that class for now, let's comment this and then let's reload again. Then we are in this screen. Okay, so the first thing that we want to do is the scaffold background color. Background color, we want to have colors dot deep purple. Okay, this is the same color that we have put in our a splash screen. Okay, if we hot reload again, this is the color that we want, and then we want it to be the same even in the onboarding screen. Okay, and then next, instead of this center, now let's remove this center. Let's return a stack widget. Okay, now this stack widget is going to have children, so let's first close it out like that. We need to put a comma, and then here let's have children, and then inside these children now we are going to have our widgets. Okay, so first we want to have the button for the skip, and then in the middle here we want to show that Lottie animation, and then here we want to show that animated button. Okay, great. So now here first let's have what are we going to call this? Center Lottie, I'm going to say Lottie animation. Okay, so that's what we're going to have, and then next we're going to have let's call it a skip button, and then after the skip button we're going to have the shop now button. Okay, shop now button. All right, great. Now let's create these 3 widgets. So first of all, this Lottie animation, this is just going to be a center widget. So let's do center, and then inside this we are going to have just a child, and then here at this child what we are going to show is a Lottie with coming from our Lottie package. Okay, we have to say Lottie.asset like that. All right, so Lottie and then asset, and then it's going to come from assets, and then assets, it should, after assets, you know that we have put it under assets and then Lottie. Okay, so after assets we should say Lottie, and then after Lottie we put a slash, and then we have the asset name and then JSON. Okay, so we can specify this height and width, but for now let's remove that. Let's just have the icon the way it is. Okay, now that we have that, let's again hot reload. Now you can see that we have this Lottie animation. Okay, so now the second time we have this, because this asset name is getting from here and it's random. Okay, so every time we hot reload we're going to have always a random Lottie asset here. Okay, you can see that this time we have this, and then if we hot restart again we can have another one. Okay, great. So now this is done. So now let's put a comma, and then next here we have to put a skip button. Okay, so for the skip button we want to position it here at this corner. All right, so what we're gonna do is to wrap it in the positioned widget. Now here on the position top we want to put it at 60, and then right we want to put it at let's say 20, and then here the child, let's have a container like that. Then inside this container let's create our button. Okay, so the first thing what we want to do is let's give this a height. So let's pick the height of like 35. Then after the height let's give it a width. This one I'm going to give it 100. Then here let's give it some decoration. So this is going to come from box decoration, and then we need to pick a color. Okay, so color is going to be okay. First, let's keep that white color, but I think the white is going to be too bright, so let's change this to gray. Yeah, maybe shade also this is too dark. Let's put maybe gray 200. Don't with opacity of 0.5, yeah, something like that. And then the radius, maybe let's keep it more round, like 30. And then that's it about the decoration. And then now here we can have a child. Okay, child of this container. So the child is going to be the material button. Okay, material button, like that. All right, now here what we want to do in this material button, first of all, in the on pressed, what we want to do first is to cancel the timer. Okay, so let's make it asynchronous. And then before we navigate, because if you press skip, we just want to navigate to home. Okay, now before we navigate, first let's cancel the timer. Cancel the timer, like that. And then after we cancel the timer, now we can navigate to home. Okay, navigate to home screen. All right, now here on the text, what we want to do is we need to be showing the countdown. Okay, so what we want to do before we show this text, first let's check, okay, if seconds is less than 1, we want to show the constant of we just want to show the skip button. Okay, yeah, we want to do something like this, but let's put it in caps. So let's remove this part because the other part is going to be this side. So we want to show the skip button. Okay, like that. So this is going to be constant, and then else we want to show this, but now this we also want to put it in caps. Okay, skip, we want to show skip, and then we want to also show the seconds. Now here let's put something like a divider here, something like this. Okay, so this side will show the word, and then we're going to be counting this side. Now here we can have a constant keyword. All right, just like this. And then also we don't need to style this. Let's just remove, I think let's just remove the styling. Okay, let's keep it simple. Yeah, now let's hot reload again. You can see that now we have that. So yeah, if the counter is there, it's going to be counting. Okay, now let's take these two widgets away from here. So this one, let's extract a widget. Yeah, let's extract, this is going to be build Lottie animation, like that. Then we have the widget like that. So let's cut it maybe from here, and then let's put it above here, and then here we can just name it just generally as a widget. It's still fine, it can still work. Also this one, let's also extract a method. So this one is going to be build skip button. Okay, we can also cut it from here, and then also paste it here, then change this to widget. All right, we can also put some comments. So this is going to be a Lottie animation, this is going to be a skip button. Now we have these two buttons. Now we just need to show the shop now. Okay, so let's change this. So this one is also going to be a button which animates. Let's just also directly create a widget here. Okay, So widget, let's do shop now, or let's just keep the same naming, build shop now button, like that. So this one is also going to return this. We are going to return a positioned widget, positioned. Okay, now here on the bottom, let's have 60 and not 30. Let's do 60, and then left, let's also have 60. Right, let's also have 60. We want it to be here on the bottom. Okay, now right after that, we need to create an animated builder. Okay, animated builder, like that. And then down here we need to have animation. So on the animation here, we are going to have the color twin animation, and then we need to create a builder. So in the builder here, we have a context and the child, and then we need to return something here. So here what we need to return is just a container. Okay, our coding assistant is assisting us, so I'm going to click tab. All right, now let's just close it here, and then what I would do is just to call this build shop now button. Okay, so here we just are going to have build shop now button, and then we'll put a comma. So here we also need to put a comma. Now next, let's just go through this and then see what it has. So this container has got a height of 50, and then this is the radius, and then it's also a material button. Then this time if you click it, it's going to navigate to the offer, which is here. All right, great. So now let's hot reload again. Let's click that. You can see that we have the button down here. All right, let's just wait for it to restart. Okay, now you can see that we have everything done like in our example. Great. Okay, now we are almost done. The only thing now remaining is we want to make these things work. Okay, the click events. So if I skip here, I know it's going to work. It's going to go to the home screen. But the other thing that we want to do is let's hot reload again. The most other important thing why we are even showing the random screen here is when you click here, or even if you want, you cannot show this button, you can put a click event on this Lottie animation. All you have to do is just to wrap this center widget with a gesture detector. Okay, you can wrap it either with a gesture detector, and then you can call the on tap function here. Okay, and then you can do the same like what we are doing here on the on click, but I'm not gonna do that. That is the reason that I've put this, so that you can click here. Okay, so what we want to do is when you click here, we want to navigate to the screen of what is being advertised here. Okay, we want to navigate like here there is a woman. Once you click here, we want to navigate to the woman's gallery, the same way we are doing on the navigation here, depending on the offer. You know that we have already done these methods. Okay, so now this, you know that these galleries are not the independent screens. Okay, if we navigate, if we, for example, I click here, it's going to go here, but it's not in the tabs. You can see now if I click back, the application is going to close. Okay, so the better way to do this, if you want, you can add the provider, and then you can always navigate to home and then just change the selected index on this. But in this course, we are just learning about in this video, we are just learning about the authentication, about the splash screen and the onboarding screen. So what we can do is we can also create the class, the women's gallery, where it takes us, once you press on the back button, is going to take you to the home screen. Right now, if you press on the back button, the application is going to close. Okay, now if we open it again, it's going to start from afresh, and then okay, now it's not installed properly because we're just refreshing, so we have to stop it and then run it again. Okay, you can see that it comes here. When you skip, it goes to the home screen. Okay, now if it's not a skip, when you click on what is here, it's going to go to the woman's. Now that everything is done, let's just complete this one so that you can, if you press the back button, you go back to the home screen. Okay, so let's quickly do that. So to take care of this, as I said, there are two ways. If you want, you can have a provider class which can read that always when we click that shop now button, you can always go to the home screen, but on starting of the home screen, we just change the index. We just change the index of this so that it can start from here. Or we will do this other method that I'm going to show you right now. So for that, we have to go to the lib here, and then let's maybe create another new folder really quickly, which is called widgets. Now here, let's create the app bar. Okay, so I'm gonna name this my app bar .dat. So now in this app bar, this is going to be a stateless widget. Okay, this is going to be a stateless widget like that. So let's give it a name, my app bar. So once we have the app bar like that, let's take some required arguments. Let's just take the required this dot title. That's the only thing that we want. If you want, you can pass the color, but for now let's just pass the title. Then let's initialize that title, and then after that, let's create an app bar here. So here we should have an app bar, and then let's create this app bar. So we need to close that. The assistant is just creating extra brackets. So next, first of all, let's remove the elevation. This is going to be 0, and then let's have a leading. So in the leading here, we're going to have an icon button. Okay, so this icon button is going to be the back arrow. Okay, so what we're going to do here is just to change this to arrow back. Let's use this iOS new. Okay, I'm going to use this, and then now here, simply on the back button, we just want to navigate to home screen. Okay, navigate to home screen. Okay, so what we're gonna do here is in navigator, push replacement. Okay, push replacement name context, and then here we need to call constants dot home route like that. Okay, so this is how we simply going to navigate to the home screen. And then the title, you know that we are passing that title. Then also let's center that title to true. Now the next thing that we need to do here, we need to have the preferred app bar size, because this is a separate app bar. Okay, so all we need to do is here we need to implement preferred app bar size, and then you see that it needs something here, so we just add the missing override here, which is this. We can remove that, and then up here all we just need to do is just to give this app bar a height. So let's just give it a normal height for the app bar, which is going to be 56, like that. It's a double. All right, so this is going to be our app bar that we are going to use if we come to the women's screen from the onboarding screen. Okay, now all we have to do is to go back to this women's gallery, and then here let's pass a boolean. So we're going to pass a boolean which is not required. This is going to be this, we're going to say from onboarding. Okay, from onboarding is going to be false by default. All right, like that. And then here now, let's just get that same boolean final bool from onboarding. So let me just copy that and paste it like that. Okay, now here under this scaffold we need to have an up bar. Now this up bar, we're just going to check if from onboarding is true. We're going to have a constant my up bar, our up bar, and then here we just need to give our title. Here we are in women. Okay, and then else we just need to say now. Okay, if it's not there, we will pass now. Okay, so let's just have a constant keyword here, and then that's it. That's all we need to do. So now let's just copy this and do the same to all the screens that we are going. So auction screen, we have to do the same. Then here we'll say this dot from onboarding, and then we can initialize that there. And then here we can just give it auction. Okay, and then let's import that. What else we have? I think discount, we have to do the same. We need to call that and then initialize it, and then import this, and then just change this to discount. Let's add the constant keyword there. Let's go back to auction and constant keyword. All right, now we just need to test this. So let's go back here. Before we restart it, we need to do one more change also. So here on the navigate, so here in the woman's gallery, if the offer is there, we just need to say from onboarding to true. Okay, so we are going to do the same to this, then also to this. All right, now we can restart the application. And then one other thing that we forgot is to uncomment this navigate. Okay, let's just let it run. So now that it's here, if there is auction here, we can shop. Now it takes us to the auction screen. Okay, now if we go back, we come to the home screen. Great. So let's just stop it and run it again so that this code also works. Alright, our application has started. If this reaches up to 0, it's going to go ahead and go to the home screen. Okay, then if we close, run it, we have that. And then if the sale is here, click here, it's going to take us to the discount screen. Come back here, we come to the home screen, and so on and so forth. So now every time you start the application, we have a splash screen, and then we also have the onboarding screen with a random ad here. Click here, we go to the woman. Okay, if you like this video, consider subscribing to my channel for more videos like this. Thank you guys, and see you in the next video.